Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. This is our marathon third day, our last presentation. Teacher Nestor over here. It's my pleasure, guys, having you again today. So let's see what we're gonna be covering today. Today, guys, we're gonna be talking about improving and developing a speaking skill. We are going to be giving you the 5 steps in order for you to improve this important part, right? And at the same time, guys, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be sharing with you what we actually do at Nicalingue with the program I Speak, right? So let me double check first. I need to make sure that I have the proper audio set up so everybody can hear me. Just give me... Hello, Karen. Hello. It's my pleasure having you today. How's it going? How are you today? Can you hear me, Karen? Can you hear me? I think that there is some kind of latency right now. Pretty much Karen might be hearing a little bit later of what I'm trying. Let's see. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Welcome back. Welcome to those people who are actually participating. I want to say a special thanks to Karen. Karen has been able to develop already the lesson number 1, lesson number 2. Karen, I was listening to your recording already. I got great feedback. I have great feedback, and hopefully we can make it at the end, right? We can make it at the end of our marathon where we're gonna have our private sessions, right? In our private sessions, I'm gonna be able to give you proper feedback on how to improve on your own, obviously, right? If you want, or if you want to belong to our program, I Speak, as you like, right? As you like. Sorry, I'm great. Excellent. I'm really happy about you. I am doing terrific. I am doing great. You know, we have a community that has been growing in the last couple of days, and it's very interesting, and it's my pleasure to help those students that are struggling right now with their speaking, right? So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson. I don't want to take too much of your time, guys. I just want to make sure that we're going to be covering whatever we need in order for us to move on with our marathon, right? So if you have questions, just let me know in the chats, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. And before we go any further, remember to share, guys, to share this lesson right now among your friends, and let them know what we are doing here in our marathon, so more people can join in and actually participate of our marathon, right? The more we are, the better we'll be. We need to tell YouTube that we are doing an excellent job, especially for those people who want to improve their spoken English, right? So let's go ahead and get started then, guys. And let me change my camera over there. And right there is my presentation, or the presentation that we have for today, and myself over here, right? Hello, everybody. Okay, so how are we gonna be improving and developing our speaking skills by ourselves or our own, right? Basically, guys, this starts with the following quote. The following quote says, practice makes perfect, right? Practice makes perfect. What does that mean? It means that the more you practice, the better you will be. However, right, I do have an observation about that. It is true that the more practice you have, the better will be. But in that practice, you need to make sure that or you need to find what are your weaknesses, right, at the moment that you are speaking. What are those skills that you need to improve and develop for you to actually to reach the second or another level of spoken English, right? So I will change that statement by saying that perfect practice makes perfect, meaning that whenever you practice, you find out your mistakes, and then in the following conversation, you have the opportunity to not to make the same mistakes you were doing previously. Obviously, you are doing such a great improvement in the second conversation or the third conversation or the fourth conversation you're having with people in English, right? So one more time, guys, it's not about practice makes perfect. It's about perfect practice makes perfect. Because I do have students that they say, teacher, I have been enrolled myself in these WhatsApp groups where we are going to be practicing our English. That is fine. That's perfect. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that is bad. The thing is that how much of that is being actively in your spoken skill, meaning how much of your practice and you are realizing about the mistakes that you are doing, and then how much of that you are actually improving in your following conversations, right? So I hopefully expect, guys, that you can understand that practicing your speaking skills is perfect. However, it will be better if you know what are your weaknesses, and then to improve for better practice, right? So perfect practice makes perfect. I just want to start with that. And the truth is, let me just go ahead and hide myself for a while. The truth is, guys, is that you have a certain level of English, right? That's the truth. The truth is that you already have some English knowledge. If you are able to listen and understand what I'm trying to tell you, meaning your English level right now, it's intermediate. Intermediate, we have different kind of intermediate. We have basic intermediate, mid intermediate, advanced intermediate, or high intermediate, as well as with advanced students, right? We have advanced, lower, mid, and higher intermediate. So that's the truth. So right now you have an English level. However, in this English level you have, sometimes you are making mistakes. Sometimes you are hesitating. Sometimes you are making mistakes in pronunciation, or you are not sounding natural, right, whenever you're speaking. When I'm talking about that you are not sounding natural, is because you are making too much pauses, or you're speaking with long pauses, or basically you have too much hesitation whenever you speak, right? However, that's your level right now. Now, what do you want to do in the future? Obviously, what you want to do is to improve, it's to develop your spoken English. So you know that in the future, for a fact, that if you improve your spoken English, you will have the opportunity to have better, right, better chances in life. If by just improving your spoken English, you will have access of getting a promotion, getting a new job for those people who are just right now looking for those new opportunities, looking for more customers in case that you already have a position where you want to get in contact with other customers around the globe, especially where your customers are in the United States, or they actually speak English as a first or second language, but they don't speak Spanish. So from one way or another, you need to get in contact with them. Now, let me tell you something really quick about this. It is true. Sometimes whenever we offer a service or whenever we offer a product, it's pretty obvious, or it's pretty easy for you to tell what are the characteristics, or what are the ideas of your products or your services whenever you are doing an offer. However, Sometimes it's very important to have a long relationship with your customers, and this is where you need your spoken English skills. Where? Because you need to have some sympathy, empathy, you need to do some recap with your customers, and all that is basic English communication, right? So that's very important. Instead of just selling a product or a service, it's also important to know just a little bit more about your customers, just because you are trying to make a relationship with them, right? So another thing that I want to add, guys, is that in the future, you want to get also opportunity to study abroad. Just in the United States, there are more than 3,000 universities or institutions where they are accepting people, or they want to have people who speak English for them to take the courses. And nowadays, we have different kind of online programs where you can actually have the opportunity, right, to have the opportunity to take them from your house, and you will have the opportunity to get your certificate as well, right? However, you need some kind of English, especially in the speaking section. So the question is how you are going to be developing this this jump, right? You need to have a jump between the level that you currently have to the level of English that you want to have, right? So we are talking about that we have a 5-step plan, right? A 5-step plan. And the 5-step plan, one of the things that you need to make sure is that you are able to find your weaknesses. You are able to find the areas of opportunities that you may have. Now, once you find these areas of opportunities, once you find these weaknesses that you have whenever you are speaking or whenever you are speaking English, right? You need to have a proper lesson. You need to have a proper material on how to improve in every single part. Previously, I have been talking about what are the 4 main sub-skills that you need to be considering whenever if you want to take a course or whenever you want to improve your spoken English or your oral communication. And I'm gonna be discussing about that later on. Step number 3, guys, is that you need to make practices, right, in a controlled environment. What does that mean? It means that once you already have the opportunity to learn the lesson that is actually pending in your oral communication, then it's time for you to have some practice in a controlled environment where you feel confident, or you are trying to build some kind of confidence, so later you can go ahead and talk to the real world, right, to actually have real conversation with real people around the world. And we are going to be talking about that also, how we do it here at Nicalingua. Obviously, in every single practice, in every single interaction, it's good to know what are your areas of opportunities. That's the thing. That's the way that you are actually improving. You cannot measure how much English you know if you don't have actually like a background of what are those areas where you need to improve. Once you identify those areas, it's good to have some lessons that the main idea of those lessons is to aim those weaknesses, so then you can have control environment practices, and then you can also have feedback again. So as a last step, you can get in contact one more time with real world, making intentional practice. What is intentional practice, everybody? Making sure that what you are going to be talking with the people that we get in contact in our Radio Nicalingua, you are going to be able to be practicing what you have covered in the lessons and what you have covered in the weakness area, right? So we can see an improvement in your spoken English, in your communication. Alrighty, so these are the steps, right? So what we need to in brief, right? In brief, what do we need to know about this? So what you need to do to improve your spoken English. Number one thing, you need to find your mistakes, right? That's the first thing. Number two, have classes or look for material, right, where the main objective is to fix those mistakes. Nowadays, I'm gonna be honest with you, nowadays on YouTube or internet is a great source of place where you can find materials for free, where you can actually have these classes and obviously to improve, right? And the most important part about this is that you take note of those classes, and obviously then to have the opportunity to talk to people and let's see what their feedback is. So after that, after you actually find the mistakes, you need to have some kind of practice in a controlled environment, as I mentioned before, where you will have a partner, where you will have a person can listen to you, so this person later on can give you proper feedback, right, about your spoken or your oral communication. And last but not least, as we mentioned it, intentional practice with the real world. Now, how are we going to find, right? How are we going to find the mistakes, right? How are we going to find the mistakes? So let me tell you, the way that you're gonna be finding your mistakes is through, let's see over here. Yeah, it's through evaluation, right? That's the only way that we can actually measure what's your level of English you have right now. Now, the level of English I'm talking about specifically, I'm talking about the speaking section, the speaking part. I'm talking about vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, grammar range, and coherence. Those are the soft skills that you need in order for you to improve your speaking, the speaking skills, right? So in order for us to actually find out what are your mistakes, we need to do an oral evaluation. It's not about reading, it's not about listening, it's not about writing. It's oral evaluation. I'm pretty sure that in previous courses that you have taken, maybe you have been doing some kind of writing, reading, listening skills, and last but not least, speaking. And sometimes that speaking section is a little bit superficial. They don't go a little bit deeper. So, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. That's what they do. But here with the iSpeak program, what we do is to improve your oral communication, right? So, what are those oral communication, guys? There are 4 parts. Basically, you have them right there. We have vocabulary, right? We need to make sure if we are saying the proper word, we are collocating the proper word whenever we are speaking about a certain topic. For example, in our private speaking practice, we're gonna be talking about age, right? And we are gonna be covering what we actually cover in lesson number 1, the vocabulary. We're going to be using that vocabulary. So if you haven't watched that lesson yet, the only thing you need to do is to go back to lesson number 1, watch lesson number 1, take note of the vocabulary, because that's the one that we're going to be using in our private speaking section. Now, number 2, we need to make sure that our features of pronunciations are accurate to our level, meaning that whenever we are pronouncing the words correctly, so our listener can understand what our message actually is, right? Grammar range, guys, I have been talking about this. Grammar range is pretty much the tense. If you are able to if you have the knowledge for the proper tenses, and you know, it is true that there are 12 tenses. However, just keep it simple. Are you able to manage past? Are you able to manage present? Are you able to manage future? If you're able to manage each of those three tenses, meaning that you will have the opportunity to experience or to express yourself, right, in a controlled environment. And last but not least, fluency and coherence. One more time, guys, talking about fluency, it's not about speaking fast. It's about the message you want to say get across to the people you want to talk to. And coherent is not about speaking, with difficult words. Not at all. It's just the fact of organizing your ideas whenever you are talking. So those are the modules, right, that you need to focus on if you really want to improve your oral communication. And all these modules, the only way that we can actually measure them, each of them, is through oral exam, is through an oral assignment, is through an oral evaluation, right? Alrighty, so let's continue. Once we found, right, the mistake that you pretty much are having, it's good to have a proper lesson. Listen, let me tell you, for example, if you have a problem with, let's say, pronunciation, all right? So you will need to have the opportunity to develop that particular problem, that particular weakness you have, right? You cannot develop a pronunciation if you are basically reading a book, right? You need to develop what are the strategies in order for you to improve your pronunciation. What I mean is that once that we find what the problem is, we go ahead and attack that problem and stop the rest of the skills, because that's not the skills that we need to aim. That's not the skill that we need to work on. The skill that we need to work on is the one that you are lacking of. So depending on what was found on your oral evaluation, you need to match your weaknesses with the lesson that you are going to study. So the problem is pronunciation, you need to have pronunciation lessons. If the problem is vocabulary, you need to have vocabulary lessons. If the problem is with fluency and coherence, you need to have a fluency and coherent lesson. As simple as that, guy. It's not something that, okay, I have a problem with my speaking English. Okay, now read this lecture. That is not a speaking, being honest with you. That is not a speaking. That is just wasting your time, energy, and money. All right? Alrighty, so as I mentioned before, right, if you have problem on every single area of vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, range, fluency, and coherence, you need to have the proper lesson, the proper material that is going to help you out on improving, right, these sections. Now, number 3, it's having some practice in an easygoing control environment. What is an easygoing control environment? Where there are other learners, where there are other students, classmates, peers, and they are practicing at different levels of the 4 main sections, right? We're still speaking about speaking skills, right? Remember that we have vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, range, coherence, and fluency. So there are other learners that they have different kind of problems. Maybe if your problem is pronunciation, maybe the other student's problem is fluency. However, we need to have a easygoing control environment where each of you who has different kind of problem can practice what you need to practice. Obviously, after this control environment, this is where a tutor or a person or a friend or a family member that actually speaks English tells you, oh, you know what? This is the mistake that you are doing, and the way that you need to fix this is by saying this or doing this, right? That's pretty much it. And whenever you are applying this, feedback, this is where you are improving, right? You're still improving. So we got the proper feedback, and getting the proper feedback on what? Obviously, vocabulary, trying to know what's the right collocation of the word, the proper use of the word, right meaning, right synonyms, right? And this is something that we covered previously in lesson number 1, how to record vocabulary effectively so you can have it in your long-term memory. Excuse me about that. And we want to say, especially, we want to say thanks to Karen. She has been doing such a great job in lesson number 1. She has doing also a great job in lesson number 2. Now, just for you to know, since she already has done lesson number 1 and lesson number 2, your spot, Karen, has been already, you already have a spot in our private speaking section, right? All right, continue. Let's do it with continuing with the presentation, guys. We need to have, we need to get proper feedback. We need to get proper feedback with vocabulary. We need to get proper feedback from pronunciation. And exactly what is that proper feedback? The proper feedback is to make sure that you have the right sound of English. Here in Nicalingüe, we have modules, or in each module, we have lessons that cover every single area. Right sound of English, proper word stress, intonation, speech, right? The flow of your English. Additionally, we have other module, which is the grammar range, which is the proper use of tenses, and accuracy, which is grammar mistakes. What is the less amount of mistakes that you are actually making in a sentence. And last but not least, everybody, fluency and coherence, which has to do with language, vocabulary, and content, how to organize ideas. In lesson number 2, guys, if you go back to lesson number 2, you will see a strategy that help you out to organize your ideas, meaning you will have to practice that strategy in order for you to develop your speaking section, or in order for you to become a little bit fluent at the moment that you're speaking. Alrighty, and last but not least, guys, the fifth step is practice with the real world. What does that mean? Look, let me tell you something. Hold on one second. Take a look at this. Take a look at the following. Take a look. I want you to picture the following. All right. Number 1, we need to identify what your problems are, right? What are the problems? What are the mistakes? What are the issues you are having whenever you're speaking English? I'm talking about vocabulary. You know already the structure: vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, grammar range, and what's the other one? Fluency, grammar range, and coherence, right? So once you know what your problem is, we need to have lessons that is going to be covering those problems, or each of those problems. If you have, let's say that I have all those problems, okay? So we need to go ahead and find what's the one that needs to be prioritized, okay? So after that, you need to, after the proper lesson, you need to have practice with your peers, with your classmates, and a self-controlled environment, and then have proper feedback with your teacher that is actually listening to you in every single interaction that you're having. And last but not least, real world practice, meaning that this time you need to get in contact with other people that are not your family, that are not your relative, that are not your classmate, that is not your tutor, or that is not your teacher, right? So, and how do we do this, at least in Nicalingüe? We do it through the real practice world, the world real practice. We do it through Radio Nicalingüe, where spoken English is our first priority. So how does it work? Number 1, you are assigned a topic, right? During the week, you are assigned a topic. Number 2, you develop your topic by showing, explaining or teaching to others. Now, one more time, these others are not your peers. These others are not your students. These others are real people. When I'm talking about real people, I'm talking about people that is not in your circle. People outside you, people abroad you, people that actually haven't never seen you before, right? Then third, we got to get experience by exposing yourself to real world. And again, you get feedback from your tutor. That's right. So in every single interaction you guys give, right, in this kind of presentation, you always get proper feedback of your tutor, because this is the way that you are actually developing, you are increasing your language oral skills. Alrighty? So let me tell you one thing. This program, guys, this program will be the last English program that you can have. And the reason why I'm telling you this, guy, is because if you follow these 5 steps, either on your own or with an institution or with Nicalingüe, right, in our iSpeak program, you will have the opportunity to learn and apply these 5 steps in our radio program. That's the first thing, right? But our students, they have finally found the last English course program, because you become a independent active speaker. It's not the same that you get enrolled in a WhatsApp group where you are just speaking English. You're introducing yourself, you're talking about what you like, what you dislike, where do you live, what do you normally do. That's it, right? However, you don't know what kind of you don't have the certainty what kind of problem or what kind of weakness you have in every single interaction. Therefore, you need to have a person, or you need to record yourself and trying to find those mistakes that you have in vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar range, coherence, and fluency. Those 4 aspects, right? So once that you become an active, independent active speaker, meaning that you won't need any other program. I'm telling you the truth. You won't need any other program. And by just following these 5 steps, guys, this is how you're going to be improving and developing your speaking skills. So believe me, we have students that they have been applying these steps, and they have improved a lot in our lessons. If you want to know about more of those testimonials, I invite you to go to Nicalingüe website, our Nicalingüe Facebook page, and in the review tab, you will see those comments or those testimonials of those people, right? Now, so I want you to check it out. I want to check this out, right? Take a look at this. It's opening. I think it is. Okay, take a look at this, guy. We have in our iSpeak program, just take a look at this. We have more than 100 lessons. What are the lessons that we have so far? Okay, let me just hide myself. We have food, job, travel, celebrity, family, siblings, love, right? I can go further. Movie, pets, technology, talent, hobby, festival, country, fashion. We have, guys, more than 100 lessons. In fact, we have 120 lessons. And let me show you something for the people that have done the assignment already, and for you as well, right, that you are watching this. We are going to be talking in our private speaking section. We're going to be talking lesson 97H. Now, I want you to take a look at the following. Lesson 97, right? Take a look at lesson 97. Dun, 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 dun. Voila, H. That's the way, that's the presentation, that's the lesson, right? H, we have a couple of questions, right, for the topic only H. And this is where you're going to be using the vocabulary we just talked about in lesson number 1 of this marathon. Number 1, what do you think is the best age in a person's life? We covered this question already in our lesson number 2. All right, pretty easy, I think. But then we have question number 2, which is, why do some people lie about their age? What do you think? And then this is how you're gonna be actually implementing, right, what we cover in lesson number 1 and lesson number 2. So in our private speaking section, you will have the opportunity to share what your thoughts are about this question, right? And I'm gonna display another question, which is, what are the benefits of getting older, right? Some of you think that there isn't any benefit, or some of you might think that there are a couple of benefits. So you will let me know, right, in our private speaking section. So we have more questions, obviously, right? We have more than let's see a little quickly over here. Yes, we have more questions, obviously, and this is the lecture lesson number 1 that I asked you to read in order for you to have more information of the topic that we are talking about. Yeah, we have 10 questions, right? 10 simple questions about just one topic, which is age. And I think that this is a good source, right? A good way in order for you to practice your speaking skills. So going back to our presentation, guys. So let me ask you the following, right? This is now something important that also I want to share with you. But before I go there, let me see. I've been not paying attention to our chat over there. So, okay, cool. Let me see over here. Cool. Excellent. Perfect. So now let me ask you guys, how much would you pay, right? Second conditional. How much would you pay if you were able to improve your speaking skills in 3 months? How much? For those people who are right now on YouTube watching us, I just want to hear your sentence. I just want to hear your answer. How much would you pay if you were able to improve your speaking skills in 3 months? Come on, guys. I read you. Don't be afraid. Give me a number. Whatever number. If you think that, yeah, I would pay $500. Yes, I would pay $1,000 just for you to have the opportunity to improve your speaking skill in 3 months. Now, let me tell you, it might happen, right? It might happen, obviously, if you put your dedication to it. Now, let me tell you another thing. This is not about who is the smartest guy in the room. This is about who is the one who has more consistency. The more consistency you put in the things you need to do, the greater results you will have, right? So how much would you pay if you were able to improve your speaking skills in 3 months? How much do you think is gonna be over there? All right, okay, I see that there are some comments. I mean, I see the comments, but I don't see the comments itself. Okay, anyway, so let me tell you. Right, another question that I have for you. What's the opportunity cost for not speaking English properly? What is the opportunity cost for not speaking English? What do you think? And you can't get that promotion, right? You can't get that new job, or you just can't get that scholarship, make that trip, or have the experience of living abroad. Right? That's the opportunity cost for not having the proper oral skills when it comes to speaking English, right? I'm just talking about one single skill. I'm not talking about reading. I'm not talking about listening. I'm not talking about writing. I'm just talking about speaking. Perhaps you don't have any problem with writing. you don't have any problem with reading. You don't have any problem with listening. In fact, if you are listening to me, that means that you have, and you are understanding, of course, that means that you have a good listening skill, right? So what is the opportunity cost then for not speaking English? It's huge, right? It's huge because actually you don't have those kind of opportunities if you don't actually speak the language, right? So now let me tell you something, right? The cost of you learning English and still not getting the results you're looking for, let's say the following. Number one thing, let's say that you decide to go to a traditional English center, English institute, right? And in the English institute, what they're going to be doing, okay, they will do an evaluation of your English. That's normal, right? Most of the time it's going to be superficial. It's going to be like 3 questions, like tell me about yourself, what did you do yesterday, what would you do in the future, past, present, future. And based on that, they are going to tell you, all right, you know what, you end up in level 5 or level 6. In other words, intermediate or higher basic English. Now let's leave it in 6, or let's keep it in level 6. Imagine that you do the exam and you finish in level 6. Now take a look at this. How many levels do they offer? They offer between or around 12 or 14 levels, right? So you know what I mean? So you have level 6, right? As after the exam, you just reach level 6. Then they offer you between levels. They offer you 12 levels or 14 levels, and let's keep it in 12 levels. Okay, how many levels do you need to complete their programs based on a book and not on real speaking competences? How many levels do you need to complete their programs? I'm not talking about they are actually helping you to improve your speaking skill. I'm talking about that they are offering you a book where you're gonna be having the same 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and if it's possible, speaking. All right, so that's right. You will need at least 6 more levels. That's the truth. You will need at least 6 more levels. Now let's do the math, guys, for those 6 levels. Regular English centers or an English institute, what is going to happen? Okay, enrollment, which is the payment that you need to do, right, for the piece of paper that you need to write down your name or all those detailed information, is $20, more or less. Placement test, $20. Installment, which is the monthly payment of those English Institute, is around $140, right? Around. Student book, $40. Workbook, $20. However, right, that's the amount of $240 just for you to start with them at level 6. Sometimes they give you an offer. Yeah, an offer of you don't need to pay an enrollment, you don't need to pay placement tests or enrollment placement tests, but the rest you need to pay, which is the installment, student book, and workbook. So at the end, they give you a $40 offer, right? So you need to pay $200. However, those $200 you need to pay it for 6 months. So at the end, you need to pay $1,200, $1,200. So that's a lot of money, right? Especially in the conditions that we are living so far. And being honest with you, it's not gonna help you on the skill that you want to master, which is speaking. Now, let me tell you something about our I Speak program, which is a 3-month program just to start, right? And obviously you can have the opportunity to continue with the program if you want. But it's just a 3-month program that if you follow the strategy, if you follow the technique, you are going to be improving and developing your speaking skill. The enrollment pretty much is $20. Placement test, another $20. And take a look at this. This is how it works. We have the basic four modules, which are vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar range, fluency, and coherent. Every single module, the cost or the price of every single module is $100. You pay one time the module that you need to focus on, and that's it, right? That's it. So in other words, we do the placement test, we do the exam. We need to make sure what your English level is. Once we identify that, we know if you have problem with vocabulary, you take the module of vocabulary. If you have problem with pronunciation, you take the module of pronunciation. If you have problem with grammar, fluency, or speaking strategy, you take the module that you need to. You don't need to pay for other things that you don't need, right? So what's the total amount? The total amount is $540. $540. Yes, that's the iSpeak program price. However, guys, I know today's condition. I know what's today's problem, right? And the thing is that we are facing a difficult situation nowadays, and also at the same time, we know for a fact that this eventually will come to an end. And whenever we have the hope that this comes to an end, we cannot go ahead and rush to prepare ourselves until that time. This is the opportunity that we have in order for us to prepare, right? Now, one more time, that's okay if you want to do it on your own, not a problem at all. I just share with you what we do in our private sessions. However, if you want to become part of the iSpeak program, our doors are totally open for you. So the thing is that our vision is that you have better opportunities for just speaking English, right? And our mission is to improve your English speaking skill, strengthen your oral skills. And we are aware of the COVID-19 situation we're facing. Therefore, we want to do a special offer today. And that's the special offer is that we are giving away 50% off of the price of our module, of our program, which is the iSpeak program. So the price right now during this month will be $270. $270. So instead of you paying $1,200 for a course that pretty much is not going to help you enough in your oral English communication, you just need to pay $270. Just let me see something. I just see a mistake. It's right here. My goodness. Alrighty, just give me 1 second, guys. Little quickly. I'm trying to be. Yeah, that's the mistake over there. A special offer. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so yes, that's the idea, right? The idea is that you can get the iSpeak program for the price of $270, right? Now, let me tell you something else. I have something else to share with you, right? I know for a fact that sometimes $270 is not an amount of money that we have right now in our pockets. That's okay. But I just want you to know the following. What are you going to get right now for those $270? Okay, you're going to get access to the placement test, lesson modules. You're going to get the lesson modules of vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar range, fluency, coherence, and you will have also the module of the speaking strategy, more than 6 speaking strategies in order for you to improve and develop your oral communication. And besides that, guys, you're gonna get a free 1 month practice. Besides those 3 months that the whole program is about, you will have another free month for additional practice. In other words, you will get, instead of, you pay 3 months and you will get 1 month courtesy. So in total will be 4 months, right? Now, if you are interested in this offer, the only thing that you need to do is to write down the coupon code. I stand for improve, D stand for develop, E stand for English, S stand for speaking, and the other S stand for skills. Improving and developing speaking skills, right? Number 1. If you have the access to pay the whole course just writing from, right? So the only thing you need to do is to send your name and the code number to our WhatsApp number so you can make your reservation, right? That's our WhatsApp number, 505-8812-5123. 505-8812-5123. Now, on the other hand, though, but what happens if you can't pay $270 right now? Okay, not a problem. I have for you guys 2 additional options. Option number 2 is $300, but the way that you can pay it is 3 installments of 100 every month. So every month, 100, 100, 100, you pay for the whole course, and then you have the opportunity to the 3-month program and 1 free month program of just speaking, right? And if you are interested in this option, the only thing is that you need to do the following. The IDES number 2, which is improving, developing speaking skills, right? English speaking skill number 2, and you send it to our WhatsApp number as well. Alrighty, I don't think that you can see it right there. Hold on 1 second. There you go. Let me just hide myself. Okay, so that's the idea, right? So if you can't right now pay the $270, the other options that we have for you is that you pay option number 2, which is $300, 3 installments of $100 by you sending the coupon code to our WhatsApp number. And the other option that I have for you guys is option number 3, where you have the opportunity to pay only $80 for 4 installments. So in the 4 months that you're gonna have the opportunity of this program, the iSpeak program, you only need to pay $80 monthly, right? Just that. And that's only the $80 monthly for installment. So that will be the price. So the only thing that you need to do is to use the coupon code number 3, right? IDES number 3, and send it through our WhatsApp number, right? To our WhatsApp number. So what you're gonna get in our obviously iSpeak program, right? Well, what are the benefits? Benefit number 1, guys. Benefit number 1 is that all right, benefit number 1 is that we only work with 6 people per group. Being honest with you, we are not the kind of institution that we're going to be working with 15, 20, 25, 30, 45 people in one single session, because we take our time to develop students' abilities in speaking English, right? So be conscious about that. Only 6 people per group is more than enough for us to evaluate, for us to follow up, for us to encourage our students to become better English speakers. Number 2, the benefit of the iSpeak program is that it focuses on what really matters, right? One more time. If you have problem with if you have problem with listening, obviously this program is not for you. Even though we develop speaking, even though we develop listening abilities whenever we are listening to other students or other people. However, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you have problem with listening, this program is not for you. We focus on what really matters. We have the Speak program, so it focuses on speaking. If you have problem in writing, you want to know what's the writing method, this program is not for you, right? This program is only based on speaking, only speaking sections. Excuse me. Now, number 3, you will have the opportunity, or the third benefit is that you will have the opportunity to express your thoughts with the rest of the world. That's right. We have Radio Nicalingüe every Saturday. We talk to people around the globe, around the world, from different parts of the world. And this is where you actually are developing what you have covered in previous lessons during the week, right? During these events, when we are conducting Radio Nicalingüe, the idea is basic. The idea is that you are given a topic, you develop, show, you teach your topic to the audience from these countries, and the more people ask, the more people you have at the moment that you are giving your presentation. It tells you that you are controlling your speaking abilities and you are keeping your listening motivated, right? So keep that in mind as well, right? That's another benefit of the program. And obviously, by you just having these 3 benefits, you will have access to better opportunities by just improving your speaking skills. So those are the benefits of the program, of the iSpeak program, right, of Nicalingüe. So we are about to end, guys. Let me see. We are about to end. Yeah, we have already 58 minutes. This is about only 1 hour, right? So we are about to end. But before we end, guys, let me tell you that during this week, we are going to be open for questions that you want to ask, questions or doubts that you may have about our program. And at the same time, the people that has been with us for lesson number 1, for lesson number 2, let me tell you that you still have some time for you to submit your assignments, because next week is when we're gonna have our private practice section, right? So Karen Reyes is the person right now that already you have your spot secure, right? We're gonna be getting in contact with you. You're gonna be receiving a link where we're gonna be talking about your answer. We're gonna be giving you feedback, and also we're gonna be developing more speaking skill through the questions that I previously show you in our private lessons, right? So guys, we are about to end, and let me see right here. Yes, I just want to say thank you, right? Thank you so much for the opportunity you have been guys giving me so far. It's amazing to have you in this marathon. One more time, our vision is that you have opportunities by just speaking English, right? And our main objective is to help you out to develop those areas of opportunities, those weaknesses you have in vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar range, fluency, coherence, so you can have better oral communication skills, right? So I just want to say, guys, that if you haven't finished lesson 1, lesson 2, you still are on time, right? In fact, we're gonna give you, today is Wednesday. We are gonna be closing the marathon on Friday. And so you have additional time in order for you to finish lesson 1, lesson 2, and the following week we're gonna get in contact with those people who already were able, right, to do offline assignment number 1 and offline assignment number 2. So guys, I give it up for you guys. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. It has been amazing, this journey, and keep in mind that if you have doubts, questions, also comments and feedback, that will be highly appreciated. I just want to say thank you one more time for your time, guys, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.